All right. So I was looking for some video ideas, and I was thinking, how about how does music affect your brain? Um, you could probably talk for hours and hours and hours about this, but if I can sum this up in the shortest time possible, I would have to say that communication is built on rules, and those rules are put into boxes through language. And we have almost like a binary style coding system of how we understand the way that we communicate. And I say that really specifically, that we have this binary code towards how we understand. So without getting too complicated, uh, let's say that when we see ice cream, we either like it or that we don't like it. When we start to communicate our feelings or ideas about things, we have to put them into these containers in which we understand. So, and somebody asks you, "Oh, what kind of music do you make?" And you're like, "I don't know, it's pop, or it's electronic something, or it's singer songwriter, or metal, or whatever." You just creating these brackets that help people absorb it and digest whatever it is that you're doing faster. If you just said, "Hey, I wrote something. Can you check it out?" and you said, "Well, what is it? Is it nonfiction or is it fiction or sci-fi or what?" It can really break down the interpretation of what you're doing. So I think music is special in the sense that your brain kind of absorbs the emotive context, the emotional quality of what it is that you're doing. And, when you turn the music or the soundtrack off of a certain film, and I used to do this in university, every Halloween, I would have my students create these like horror stories, these scary stories, and they could be funny or whatever. But we spent a short period of time on soundtracks. So I would show them like bits of The Shining without the sound on, and it just wasn't scary at all. It was just, you could just imagine like a table wheeling up, and the space and the sound just being totally normal. But when you add that extra element to it, it changes the whole atmosphere. So music can do that. And music affects the brain in the sense that your brain starts exploring into all of these communicable aspects of what it is to be alive. And those categories are, they just become simply man-made categories. It's a way to describe the emotions that you have, but the actual experience itself isn't so categorical. You can experience so many more spaces. We say in our hearts, um, but there's this massive landscape of emotions. And that's why we use all of these metaphors and analogies to try to describe them, because none of them can actually measure up. So the effect of music on your brain is is not only just waves into your ears and affecting your eardrums, and this physiological impact that it has, which it does, but there is this like supra emotive or communicative level that allows the sound and the expression of sound, the association of certain progressions and so forth, that you can make compatible to your own life. I see a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, I have quite a few friends that don't really listen to music. Like I have speakers in my house, and I've had speakers in my house for a long time, and that's just like, that's to me is more important than a TV. It's just to have speakers, that you can hear something, that you can like really get inside of the feeling. And I have friends that really don't have speakers. They might have like a radio or something, but they listen to things on their phone. And the context of music in their life is like this thing for entertainment. I was lucky enough to kind of grow up with music being like a secret doorway to the way that we understand life. And so that becomes my inspiration for making music. Um, I could go on for a very long time, but I'm really curious what you think music does for you. And does it communicate to you? Is the music that we hear today communicating to you? And if it is, what music is communicating to you? Um, these things are fascinating to me. So, brink, brink, brink. Do this, do that, do that. Boing.